Ciao. Today, I want to share one of my fundamental life philosophies that governs the way that I approach my career. One of my fundamental beliefs is that life is abundant. And I believe that life is abundant because everything about the way that the world is constructed supports this idea. If you put human beings on the same level of everything else that exists, if you look at plants and flowers and animals and ecosystems, you see that they are inherently abundant. A plant comes into the world with everything it needs to survive. It just trusts that it will survive. If it's not a house plant and it's actually growing in its natural habitat, it will survive. It has the resilience it needs for its climate. It has all the food and nutrients it needs from the soil and the animals that are part of its ecosystem. And it has a natural life cycle. It lives fully and then dies fully. And while it's alive, it thrives. It creates shade, it grows, it propagates, so it's fertile. So when it dies, the next plant comes. And even in its death, it supplies food and nutrition for the plant that will come after it. And it provides shade for the animals that live within the ecosystem. There's something elegantly wonderful about natural ecosystems. And when I started kind of stepping into the philosophical realm and thinking about why do we as human beings think that we're just so different to everything else that the universe created? If you believe in God or like a creation entity, and even if you don't believe in a creation entity, and Earth is just this thing that is just sustaining itself, right? Everything else somehow survives. Why do we as human beings, because of our level of consciousness, right? And we overthink and we, become so engaged in how we're living and why, that we start thinking ourselves as different to everything else the universe created. But the universe is agnostic. It cares as fully for everything that is created with no holds barred, right? And so because it is inherently wired to be self-sustaining, right? Scientists have shown this, right? The universe, everything that exists has in it the DNA, the design to self-sustain. So therefore, the universe provides everything that everything it's created needs in order to survive. If you believe that, then the universe is abundant. Everything you need is here. And if we understand that and we start actually just taking that as a given, so much becomes available for us. I know for me, one of the things that really changed was starting to see my life coach. You'll hear me refer to seeing a life coach throughout my videos because it was really life-changing for me. And in the work together, we came down to understanding, to rebuilding or recultivating self-love. And to love myself, I have to believe that I am meant to be here and that it is my divine right to be. And if it is my divine right to be, then everything that I need is provided for me. And if everything that I need is provided for me, and there are 7 billion plus people on this earth, then there's enough for all 7 billion of us who exist. And therefore, my understanding of what is available and possible is only one tiny fragment of the full entirety of what is possible for all 7 billion of us, plus the plants and animals, etc. And therefore, this universe is actually beyond anything that I can comprehend. And so, if I trust that, and I pretend that I am just a lion roaming the savannah, I can trust that my food will come if the ecosystem is perfect. Now, obviously, there's many things we've done to undermine the natural ecosystem and the natural order of things, right? The more of us who awaken, the more we return to original design, where we could just flow through life and live freely, right? And everything we needed would just come to us. But in heightened awareness, we become one with the universe, and all that the universe has becomes available to us. And so this fundamental belief has changed my career. And it's changed my career because now that I believe that I have a right to play, I don't believe that there's any door that I'm supposed to walk through that will not open for me. And if that door doesn't open, it's not my door. And so I don't even stress out about opportunities that don't pan out for me, because I know that that wasn't my opportunity. And the fascinating thing is that this doesn't create a sense of lack, because if I look at my career, I have had abundance throughout it, right? I have never not paid my bills. I have never not been in a great job. I have never not grown. I have all the evidence to suggest that when I need it, the universe gives me what I need. So then why do I live fearfully? That's actually me misunderstanding reality, right? Misinterpreting what I'm seeing, taking what is a fact and rewriting it to fit some limited belief that I have. And so a lot of the work that I've done the past 2 years has really been to question my beliefs. If I'm worrying about something, there's something that I'm believing that isn't true, right? Because I have within me everything I need to succeed. I have always weathered every storm. I have always had amazing relationships. Some relationships weren't amazing, but most of my relationships have been, right? And so one of the big things that I have been doing is coming back to myself and saying, is what I am believing right now reflective of reality? You know, is this something that this plant worries about? If this plant doesn't worry about it, I shouldn't worry about it. Because fundamentally, guys, like, I am not my responsibility. I didn't make myself. I didn't decide, hey, I want to live, I want to come here, I want to be, right? I was just like, the universe made me, right? And made me through my parents. Now, there are some people who believe, and there's an aspect of me that is actually starting to explore the idea that, you know, maybe I am an endless being and I keep incarnating in different realities, and I chose this reality for the things that I need to grow in. And so even if that is true and I incarnated into this reality, I would never send myself somewhere to suffer. No one does that. Who would do that? Why would you do that to yourself, right? You fundamentally love yourself. You'll send yourself somewhere to grow. And you'll make sure you have everything you need in order to grow and learn in this lifetime. And that means all the resources you need, all the opportunities you need to grow. Sometimes our lessons are complex. Sometimes our lessons come from lack. Sometimes our lessons come from struggle. But we should never think that we are struggling and lacking because we don't deserve, or because there is not enough. We should believe that there is something that we're still needing to believe, or needing to grow in, or needing to learn in order to progress into deeper abundance. Because everything is abundantly there for us. Like, a few years ago, I found myself starting to say, why not me? I think this was when, like, a lot of the self-love work I'd been doing was finally starting to actually work. And I would look at these rich people. Like, I'd look at Tony Robbins. He's one of my, oh my God, he's one of my idols. And I say idol not because I want to be him. Maybe I should say a role model. But he's someone that I really admire. And I looked at his life, and it is nothing but abundance, guys. You could even say it's excess. Like, who in life needs an island? Tony Robbins does. And you can really see the limited mindset, right? Because I'm like, who needs an island? Like, why not have an island, right? Isn't that the more expansive perspective? And I remember looking at Tony Robbins and saying, if he can, why not me? Right? I'm not different to Tony Robbins. Like, I'm a human being just like he's a human being. And I listened to his story, and he came from struggle. My goodness. But he just like picked himself up and moved and moved and moved and pressed in and believed and, you know, voted. He voted in his favor. He voted in the universe's favor. He voted in the favor of humanity and collective goodness. Because the way he serves his clients is like, I know that I can help you, and I know that you want me to help me. And if I can't, you want me to help you. And if I can't help you, you don't have to pay me. But I know that you'll pay me because you want to support me if I help you. So I'm just going to focus on helping you. And when I demonstrate the value, you'll just pay me anyway. We both care about each other in this exchange. Guys, that is such an abundant mindset. So look, I give myself freedom in these like philosophical videos to ramble a little bit and to not necessarily have to follow a structure, because I just want to share the fundamental beliefs that have really been changing my life. Because This belief that life is abundant affects how I interact with other people, the types of things that I believe are possible for me, the way that I serve my clients, the way that I allocate my time in my day, the way that I orient myself towards my work. It fundamentally impacts everything that I do. And so I thought I would share it with you. Be blessed.